By the way,
Sure.
before I heard about it from the news, it was Ray Powell. I got it from Ray Powell first.
Well, that's what I do. Well, so I mean, this has been coming for a while, I think. China has had vessels at Sabina Shoal intermittently for years. We've tracked them. They've mostly been passively asserting their sovereignty by parking maritime militia vessels there. We call it rafting, where they take them, they tie them all together, and they just sit there for months on end. And that's just China's way to assert their sovereignty very quietly and passively, and it's almost like a floating outpost. And so those have been there for quite a long time, and we've covered it at SeaLight over the years. What happened, I think, more recently was, of course, the Philippines went out and did a survey and believed that it found evidence of some preliminary island building kinds of activities at Sabina Shoal, with some dead coral being dumped, appearing to raise the level of the shoal. The Philippines was concerned that that might lead to island building over time, and so they took the BRP's Teresa Magbanua, a 97-meter Philippine Coast Guard ship, and they anchored in the middle of the shoal to do two things, I think. One is to remind China that this is in the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, and the Philippines didn't intend to simply allow China to lay claim to the shoal in this way, and also to kind of keep an eye on China to make sure that they weren't actually dumping coral and trying to do reclamation activities. So that happened in April, is when the Teresa Magbanua showed up. And then over time, it became very clear that China was very agitated about this, and they would refer to the Teresa Magbanua in similar terms as it talks about the BRP Sierra Madre out at Ionian Shoal, right? They would talk about it as being like a quasi-grounding, and began to demand its removal. And then last week, we started to see these messages coming out of their propaganda outlets like the Global Times or their spokespeople, talking about the fact that they believed that the other 97-meter ship, the Motor Aquino, was going to go out and replace Teresa Magbanua, and they started acting like they weren't going to allow it. They talked about taking resolute measures and other sort of words like that. And of course, the Motor Aquino has not gone out to Sabina Shoal. Instead, we had these two 44-meter vessels leave from Palawan on a patrol that did not obviously include Sabina Shoal. We'd have to ask the Philippine Coast Guard whether they intended to go to Sabina Shoal. But they went out and aggressively interdicted that patrol well south of Sabina Shoal, essentially on the high seas, of course, within the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines, interdicting their freedom of navigation, and clearly in the middle of the night had several collisions and trying to keep them from being able to go on their planned route.